should be it. I think. Yep. Ready?
Ready.
Welcome to Books We Never Read.
Except for those we have.
I'm Jason.
I'm Nicole.
And today is going to be our first discussion of Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. But we're going to be discussing the first 2 weeks' worth of reading.
Indeed. So if you have not read chapters 1 through 41, you should stop this video and go read and then catch us on the replay. If you're catching us live, chat us up in the little old chat box. And if you're catching us on a replay, chat us up in the discussion box. We're on YouTube Music as a podcast if you want to hear us and not see us. And we're on Fable, where we're taking notes in between meetings. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. How's everybody doing?
Good. I'm glad we have this little ritual where you do that part. Because we sit, y'all can't see this, but we sit down and we are very tired. And then you do that and you like, your energy level just spikes as soon as you get into the little rhythm of it.
Don't watch the show. Peggy says don't watch the show and think it's the same.
We were just talking about that, but I want to watch it, of course, once we're done. And if it's not the same, that's okay.
Is it not the same, like all the light we cannot see, not the same?
Oh, that was tragic. Tragic.
So hopping right into the book. This is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow meets Tom Lake meets that Pedro Pascal show, Last of Us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is.
Like, this is bringing back so many memories of Tom Lake that I am thinking more about Tom Lake than I am about Station 11.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of Tom Lake vibes just because there's like there's a lot of romance, even though the romance is in like the past, I suppose. And then of course it's just like the same part of the world with acting, even though we really don't see that much acting. Like, we're just like told that they do it.
Yeah.
You know, we've got like some.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I didn't King Lear. No.
Oh, we might have disappeared.
No, we're still there.
Okay.
Hit that refresh and see if we can come back. It's probably just you. Didn't King Lear also come up in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm really not that familiar with King Lear. Like, number one, I'm not like a huge Shakespeare person. I do like Romeo plus Juliet, big fan. But
that's the movie, not the play.
I'm aware. I'm a big fan.
Well, I'm letting them know.
I'm just saying Shakespeare did a good job on that one. But anyway, I guess I need to go back and like look at King Lear again because it keeps coming up in everything we read.
Yeah. So I took a Shakespeare class in college, and King Lear was the only, like, we were supposed to crank out a Shakespeare play a week. Like, you kidding? There's no way that was happening. But I did actually read King Lear, and I super loved it. And I wrote my thesis on, or my research paper on that or whatever that year. But I don't remember. I remember I liked it because it was super tragic.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of like pain and facing consequences and stuff like that. But I really don't remember what it was about.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing, not just like that reminds us of Tom Lake, and of course of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, is just like, it's not so much like the tragedy of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, but like the growing up.
Yeah.
And
Bill Dungserman.
Yeah, and so this book also is about like growing up and change and
like immaturity and creativity.
Right.
Those two things together are very powerful.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Which we saw in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Yeah. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I was very, very behind. I didn't quite realize how much we had to read. But of course I'm loving like the current day with the symphony like moving around and everything. And then I'm actually really enjoying Arthur. Why can't I remember his name right
Arthur is the August?
No. The guy in the past.
Arthur,
yeah. I'm really enjoying his story. But like once we started going along with like his side characters, I was like, what are we doing? And of course, we just happen to, like, by the end of this reading, kind of have it all pulled in, and like we start to understand why we're talking about
Right.
all these other side characters.
Miranda, is that her name?
Miranda,
Who's doing Station 11, which
Yes.
Kirsten is like obsessed with.
yes. So like finally that was all tied in, and then Jeevan, right? Who's is that his name Jeevan? He's the So at the beginning of the book, he's the guy who does CPR on Arthur.
Oh yeah.
His name might not be Jeevan, but it starts with a J.
Yeah.
He's the guy who does CPR on Arthur, but he's also the paparazzi guy who talks to Elizabeth, and he's the
Miranda.
Yeah, it was Miranda. You're right. And he's the guy who interviews Arthur later on. And then sort of where we leave him at the end of our reading is him like wandering off out into the Great Lakes area.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have a feeling we'll run into him again, or he will be a main character from the past somewhere. So I think that'll be cool. And then, of course, we have Elizabeth and her son at the end of the reading who have landed in our weird little town with the Museum of...
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, that's chapter 41.
Okay.
I think it's 41. It might be 40.
I didn't catch that.
So Arthur's best friend, Clark, maybe, hops on a plane to go to... Did I go?
The funeral?
Did I go to one chapter too
No,
far?
to go to the funeral.
Yeah, he hops on a plane to go to the funeral. Yes.
And she's on the plane with them.
With her son. And the plane cannot get to Toronto. And they get rerouted to this little city in Michigan somewhere. And it's the city with
the museum that they're all headed to where the
Yes.
cult leader came from.
Yes.
I didn't catch that happened. Maybe I didn't finish reading.
Yeah, Severn City Airport. So good. Okay, so I didn't go too far. But so what's cool is we know that Elizabeth is some sort of historian, and that's why she goes to Jerusalem. Like that's part of why she picks going to Jerusalem.
I didn't understand that.
It
either.
is like barely mentioned at one point. Like Arthur is complaining to somebody about like why would she go to Jerusalem, and it says she loves history. So right now I'm guessing that she's the one who sets up this museum, and I'm guessing that her son, Arthur's son,
Ooh, is he the cult leader?
I think he's the cult.
Dang it!
Yeah. So I already had that guess, and I was gonna like write it down on a piece of paper and everything, but then like it's basically confirmed at this point. But yeah, whatever.
Peggy has a theory.
Peggy, let's hear it. Let's hear it. You know what's while we're waiting on Peggy's theory. Oh, okay, wait, hang on. I think Tyler is the prophet, the cult guy. Between that and the fact his mom says everything happens for a reason. Who's Tyler?
That's gonna be Elizabeth's son.
Elizabeth's son? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just I think it's really cool. Number one, I'm actually really enjoying just like hearing about people's everyday lives in the past. All right, and like I enjoyed learning about Elizabeth and Miranda and like her little shipping job and everything like, and that was part of the attraction to Tomorrow was like sometimes it was just about them like doing stuff and hanging out. But I like that it all kind of comes back around. And like Arthur is just this like gravity well for like for Kirsten's life and for like the Midwest generally.
Yeah. Because he really shrinks the pool with how many people he's
they're all related.
Gotten with.
Right. 7 degrees to Arthur.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's a good place to start. Is like here's the overarching situation that everyone's going to be connected to Arthur.
Right.
I like these descriptions of our modern time things, but described from the point of view of people in the future who haven't had technology for the past 20 years. The reference to a Wendy's as an architecturally careless era. Like,
Yes.
yeah, because everything that's built now is built so stock that it can become any other Spirit Halloween store.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everything can become anything. So like a McDonald's isn't like an iconic red roof, golden arches, playpen area. That McDonald's could very easily be a JCPenney's next week.
Right. That's funny. I was talking to my dad a while back about like what if I got some space in town and turned it into an indoor pickleball course. and the particular building I was thinking of, I drove past the other day, and it's now Spirit Halloween. Like, that's crazy. If you shut down, you're gonna be a Spirit Halloween. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is so funny.
Funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we do live in a very architecturally careless era.
Well, but also like just in terms of like airflow and heating and cooling, and even like for like the purposes of defense. You know what I mean? Like
Architecturally careless.
architecturally careless. Yeah. And there's this whole conversation in one of the later chapters about like where Kirsten is like explaining air conditioning to some like younger kid, and they're talking about like, is it gas or electric? And they're talking about these things that like this kid just like cannot fathom. You know. But,
Also, there was a comment about someone headed south when all electricity in the grid got shut off. No. You would not. You wouldn't survive. Everyone down here would die.
Yeah. So actually, one of my favorite parts. So, one interesting thing is like they suggested that the cult might have come from Virginia, which now that we find out that Elizabeth and Tyler are like landing at the Severn Airport, like that seems unlikely, but possible, I suppose. But they also talk about like you don't go south because there's a lot of guns and it's kind of like dangerous. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I thought that part was good.
Yeah. You made a note about a tie-in chapter 11 with the London Plague in 1594.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So there's this kind of comment about how I think it was King Lear opens in London in 1594 after a plague, and so it's just sort of. I just thought it was interesting that people are using Shakespeare in this fiction, all these years later. But I'll also draw attention again to this movie we referenced last when we did the syllabus, The Postman. That's what he does. He does Shakespeare.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he does Macbeth though. I can't remember. Yeah. But there's sort of like these timeless things now that are just like so deep in there.
In the book, How to Read Literature Like a Professor, the guy pretty much just goes out there and says, like, if there's a reference that you've read in a story but you're not sure where it came from the Bible or it came from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And that's, so that you've narrowed it down.
Yeah.
Go on your quest.
Yeah. But also, like, not only that, like, Shakespeare is ubiquitous, but, like, plague and disease, right? Like, like we're sort of still having this same fight. And this book is pre-COVID. And, like, there's nothing amazing about somebody predicting like a global plague, right? Like this has happened before, it will happen again. But yeah, I really I think it's cool that it's pre-COVID.
Yeah, this definitely hit harder than COVID.
Yeah, and yeah, because Tom Lake again was about disease and about COVID. I forget about that part.
It was during lockdown that they.
Well, because like that's sort of like the subplot.
Was like they're all together.
Yeah, the story's being told.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep. I'm just kind of going through like some of the notes that we took in Fable, and I'll kind of hit on everyone so that the people in the chat can expand as well. But one of the like themes that's going on in the book is just the timelessness of art and literature, which you just touched on. Like everything we read has these references to Shakespeare, and it's just because it's like everyone has read some of Shakespeare. You would be hard pressed to find someone who hasn't watched or read. And it's because it deals with themes that are like central to humanity. It's love and it's loss and it's betrayal and it's murder and it's whatever. I made a note that like literature is a means of catharsis. Like some people don't get to feel feelings unless they like watch a movie and cry about it or read a book and it makes them cry. And I don't remember what this was in reference to. It was in chapter 12. This is what's hard about making notes on Fable and like not in my book. But like someone was touched by something that they watched. I don't remember. Something that they read. It had made them emotional. So I thought that was interesting. And then I love that Kirsten's friend is obsessed with Star Trek.
Yeah.
And he's kind of living by this quote that survival is not sufficient, which was a quote from Seven of Nine in Voyager. She was one of the Borg. And the Borg were like the hive mind type people. And at some point she realizes like just surviving that's not living. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
living is enjoying art and the community of art and that kind of thing. And so that's what like our little traveling troupe here has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they're performing Shakespeare, and yeah, they love performing.
Mm-hmm.
But what they really love is this community that they've built.
Right.
And if you've ever like played music in a band before, like with a group, like sometimes you get into this groove and you like leave your body and you feel like you are part of, you know, this whole movement that is happening. You are like an arm out of a body. Like you are one piece of the whole. And I'm sure that same thing happens in other community art, like acting and whatnot. And so I think it's really cool how much they explore that here.
Yeah. I think the robot's running. Just heads up. It might come in.
Oh yeah, that's when the prophet speaks. That's when they perform for the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone's watching and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're having a tough life over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think also like talking about like the community or whatever. I think that's evidenced by the fact that at some point they reference that only like 4 people ever have left the symphony or something.
Yeah.
And of course, like 2 of them are their friends that they're trying to meet back up with.
Right, and they only stopped because they were about to give birth or something.
Right. Right. Yeah, they got a good little deal going.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like all good. It's good now because it's like 20 years out. Things aren't as violent and as scary, but they all have their little knife tattoos or whatever it is, which I'm assuming means they've killed somebody.
Right. You know, there's this part, we're starting to get chapters where Kirsten is being interviewed by somebody, and I guess she has knife tattoos like now in like our current, but I kind of feel like the interviews are in the future from like where we are now.
Oh, okay.
You know, we have no indication yet that she's actually killed anybody. Like she never talks about it to us. She never thinks about it. Nobody ever references it. We just kind of get that peek from those interviews. Another interesting thing is like there's sort of this talking about the interviews is now we sort of have this foil between her interviews to this guy and Arthur's interviews to Jeevan, you know, and so because maybe August or one of her friends says like this would have been you, right? Like you would have been Arthur in these interviews in the future, but like she is, right? Like she is that in this current world, you know. So
I guess he was talking in terms of like she could have been a famous actress.
She is a famous actress.
Well,
in the current world,
maybe.
I mean, like as far as their little world is concerned, yeah she's famous. You know, that might mean like 300 people know her, but like
right, she gets followed by the little kids in town.
Yeah.
So we think that her interview with this little not NPR guy is in the future.
That's just what I was saying.
Okay.
We haven't met that guy yet, maybe?
Not that we know of, unless he is, in fact, Javen. Have they said his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Ballisto or something weird.
So
Balto. It's not Balto.
Balto.
It's not Balto.
When the prophet starts speaking after their performance, I mean, I just wanted to go throw the book in the freezer. Like, yeah. I was done. You know, he just represents just all things disgusting.
Yeah.
The flu is divine punishment. And as Peggy said in Fable, sure, not as a consequence for banning science or not being transparent with other countries.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have a saying in our house. We say this often, you know, today.
I will not be a cult leader.
That's right. And if you come across somebody who just seems a little too charming, you need to go the other way.
Yeah.
If you come across somebody who talks like this, you need to stop and go the other way. If you come across somebody who says that he is carefully selecting women to help him repopulate the earth, you need to stop and go the other way.
Even if he's not carefully selecting.
Like, carefully or not carefully.
I'm fascinated by cult psychology, but like, what is, and like, why can't somebody just have a cult where they don't have 7 wives? Like, why can't you have a cult that helps people for a second? Why does it always go sideways? I don't know. It's wild. Wild.
Yikes. And so now, the whole troop has disappeared.
Yeah.
Except for Kirsten and Voyager guy.
Chad, do we have any thoughts about this? I have no thoughts about this.
Have they disappeared or did the troop disappear?
I think the troop disappeared, but I don't know what that means.
Who's been foiled here? And how? Like,
I don't know.
how would the
I really don't know.
whole troop disappear like that?
They made this whole comment about like how they couldn't find tracks for like the 2 scouts that had gone
Yeah.
further or whatever. These people are like dragging 3 cars, right, behind some horses. You should find
Yes,
tracks.
something.
Which to me means they've been like kidnapped or something and the tracks have been covered up. I don't know. Something like that.
I'm real worried about it.
Just jumping back into the chat real quick because we've missed a lot.
Yeah.
They're talking about like the prophet's dog's name is Luli, which is the dog from the book, which is Miranda's dog's name.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, if the prophet is Tyler, Elizabeth's son, why would his dog be named Luli?
well, so
Shelby's already finished the book.
so what if they've been taken by aliens? Yeah. One of my thoughts was, I don't know, like we know that Kirsten has like 2 copies of this comic book from, but like I don't think they're the original comics. Didn't she like get copies of this from like somewhere else randomly, or maybe they are the originals that she got from Arthur, who got them from Miranda. But we're not really like, I don't know. What if Arthur had more copies and he like sent them to his kid because like why not or something? You know what I mean? My guess is that Arthur gave them both copies of this comic, and that's how the Luli thing comes about.
Mm.
Not really sure.
Yeah, Elizabeth and Miranda do know each other.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth did hang out in Miranda's like office space where the walls were covered in her like storyline and like storyboards and ideas for Station 11.
Yeah.
And it is possible that Elizabeth just saw some of that on the wall and it stayed with her and she talked about it or something. Yeah, that dinner party was terrible. I'm with Miranda. I'm like, I gotta go take the dog out.
Yeah. Bye.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it was rough.
I like Miranda's storyline. Like, she left Pablo a really bad relationship, and she was with Arthur, and that fizzled. It didn't work out. But the whole way along the way, she owned, like, these are my choices, and I don't regret the choices that I'm making. And when one thing faded out and it was no longer working out, then it was time to go and do the next thing.
Yeah.
And I like that after Arthur, she chose her independence. And even in death, she kind of owned it.
Yeah.
And her death was really sad.
Peggy said Pablo Dove. Yes.
Yeah.
A very Dove-like character. Gold star. Yeah, and like, and he's like not contributing to the family and hadn't sold a painting in like 18 months.
And why are you still at work? She's like, I'm paying the bill.
Well, his whole thing where like he called her desk and like she figures out that he's doing it to like make sure she's
still
like,
there. The whole thing, yeah.
If you're at that point, y'all need to break up. That's all there is to it.
I was like yelling at the book. Like, he was leaving messages like, wait, are you mad at me? I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Don't bother waiting. Because I'm not coming home. Ugh. Oh, I just wanted to... Well, it doesn't matter. I didn't like him. Shelby said in Fable, Pablo can wait till he catches the flu. Pablo. I mean, I get it. Like, if you want your art to be your career in your life, that's tough. And you are very lucky if you're able to make a living off your art. Mm-hmm. But if you expect for your bills to be paid, you need to be willing to dip your toes into the corporate world, if I may. Don't be so big for your britches.
Clearly, I'm not an art buyer, right? But like, how much are you selling paintings for, dog? Like, you waited 18 months to what like $6,000? Because that's not enough to wait 18 months for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, are you selling them for $30,000? Because like, okay. But you really need to be hitting like 3 a year.
Yeah,
like,
that's a big gamble if you're aiming.
That's wild.
30,000, like that.
Yeah, and so are you selling them for 100,000 a piece? Because Nobody's buying them. Maybe you should bring your prices down.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pablo needs to go find the Flanders panel people and suffer the starving artist life with that attitude. Yes. Okay.
Gold stars all around. Everyone referencing all our other books. Which, by the way, if you're new, we have a ton of books playlisted for you in the playlist section of our channel.
So here, let me hit a highlight. I did this in my book app. I thought this was a fun little quote. It says, "The symphony was insufferable. Hell was other flutes or other people or whoever had last used the last of the resin or whoever missed the most rehearsals. But the truth was the symphony was their only home." And I really like that play on like hell is other people sort of quote, but like hell is the flutes, right? And like all the, because these are like, that is the people, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what they know. Like we have to remember that, there's no news broadcast, there's no cell phones, there's no internet. They know each other, and then they run into some other people sometimes. That's it.
I like that some of the characters are only known as second chair flute.
Yeah.
Fifth flute.
But they're like missing the first one.
I also love that when someone leaves the group, they never lose their chair.
Yeah.
They reserve that chair, that place,
yeah,
for that person who is there. I think that's really cool. I did wonder. I think they mentioned there was a clarinet. Like, how are y'all still finding reeds?
Yeah. And eventually, like, this will go away, And
I mean, you can make them, I guess. I mean, if there's bamboo growing, you can make a reed, but yikes.
Well, and like they reference that dude who like figured out electricity so he could turn a computer on and look at the blank internet or whatever, Like eventually technology will start coming back, but we're kind of at this weird point, and we probably won't talk about it in this book, but like all the people who were around to like have know-how are dying, right? Like they're just starting to get old.
Well, and I find it very hard to believe that for 20 years the grid would be knocked out. I find that very hard to believe.
I mean, they're talking about like. But like the amount of people who died isn't like, oh, a bunch of people died. Everybody
right.
died.
I mean, they said it was like 1 in 4 people, right? Like that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think they said it was more than that, but
like even okay, so maybe like areas farther away from a major city or like where a major power grid is. Maybe we can't get the extensions up and running.
Yeah.
But I think we could get the central ones up and running.
Yeah.
We might not be able to talk from New York to Louisiana.
But like, how are you going to power that? How do you power the power grid?
Somebody knows, right?
Yeah, but like that's. I mean, like, but like that's.
Let me Google it.
Best case scenario, that's like coal or like gasoline. Like best case scenario for them.
Yeah.
But like, you're not getting that. The gas is gone, right?
Maybe, but maybe if I broke into SWEPCO,
so like
there would be like instructions on the wall.
Yeah. In the Postman, they have a dam, right? So, like, hydroelectric is probably the most likely. But, I mean, like, that stuff is going to go down fast. And I'm, like, not only, like, thinking about the expertise to, like, keep that thing running, but think about, like, you kind of have to have, like, you're going to have, like, an authoritarian government to get people, like, get their act together to have power.
Yeah.
To, like, organize people.
Well, if we don't watch out, it's going to be Tyler the Prophet.
Tyler the Prophet, yeah.
That's just wild. Wild. And of course, there was the quote in the book about, hold on, me and several people had like posted about it. Where was it? Just anger at like people literally had access to all information.
Yeah.
And couldn't figure it out. And now they don't have it. No one had any idea, it turned out. None of the older symphony members knew much about science, which was frankly maddening, given how much time these people had to look things up on the internet before the world ended.
Yeah.
Loved it.
But also just, like, thinking about, like, the knowledge. So, like, let's say that you are some sort of engineer, but, like, you don't work in power plants or whatever. Most of that stuff is digital now.
Yeah.
And so it's gone. And if there were books, they burned them for, campfires and stuff. So.
Yeah.
One of my other, I'm just looking down my notes now. One of my other favorite things was when the conductor tells Kirsten what the prophet said to her after the thing, and she says, "You promise you keep it to yourself?" And she says, "I'll probably tell August."
I love that.
Just like straight up, and the conductor's like, yeah, but nobody else. And then she like immediately did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
She immediately told him.
No, that's all.
I thought that was fun.
Okay, so Shelby made a good guess in chapter 45. She says, and this is on Fable, for those of you that are not on Fable, get on Fable. Why does my brain immediately think that Kirsten's two knives are for Elizabeth and Tyler? I hope not, but I guess I really want there to be some crazy connection that ties them all together besides the fact that Kirsten saw Arthur die.
Yeah.
Good guess, Shelby. Well, and Shelby can't say anything about it now because she's already finished the book. Uh-oh. Peggy's yelling no.
Yeah, you can't go to chapter 45.
Oh, was that too far?
We were supposed to go to chapter 41.
It was 41? 40? Well, I mean, that's still a good guess. It didn't, ruin anything.
Yeah. There's only, so guesses about the knives are fine. Because we know the knives exist, and I mentioned that already, that we're not really sure what happened. But yeah, we're supposed to go to 45.
There, look, I stopped. Sorry. I didn't realize I went too far.
I thought 45 sounded funny, but I wasn't going to say it. Alright, let's see. I
didn't write anything. We already knew she had two knives.
I don't know why I highlighted that.
Poor Miranda. Miranda's death scene reminded me of Rogue One, the ending of Rogue One.
Yes.
Just
so
facing the...
I have this very clear picture in my mind of Miranda dying by a nuclear blast. And that's exactly what it is. I'm seeing Rogue One, and I didn't think of that. She's just on a beach.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously no nuclear blast, right? But in my head I see that. That's funny. I didn't know that's what I was seeing, but that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Such a good movie.
Such a good movie. Yeah. I think part of what's interesting is watching Arthur's life of privilege and all that. We haven't even talked about the fact that so he marries Miranda, he marries Elizabeth, he has this other third wife who we don't really know anything about yet, but he's leaving her for Tanya, who's the wardrobe girl.
Was that the babysitter?
Yeah. I mean, he has this life of privilege, and he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all that stuff is gone, and these people are out here fighting for scraps and all that. It's just such an interesting juxtaposition, I think, about what we value compared to what we really value.
Yeah. A couple of people in his life were noticing that the last few times they talked to him, in their minds, they were like, is he acting right now?
Yeah.
At what point does an actor forget how to be just themselves?
Yeah.
And I've seen that in some people.
Johnny Depp.
There are some people that they forget how to turn it off.
Yeah. I think after Jack Sparrow, he can't figure out how to not be a pirate. I'm serious.
Well, he was in Fantastic Beasts, and he wasn't...
As a pirate.
He wasn't piratey. He was...
So I also have a buddy who did this. In high school, I was an actor-ish, kind of, sort of. And I had a buddy who was acting with us, and he took on this character one time, and he couldn't lose it for years. He just acted like that all the time, and it was weird. But it just became his personality. It is what it is. But yeah, there's specifically the dinner with Clark, where Clark realizes that he's not talking, he's performing.
And I feel like Miranda mentioned it too. Thought it. I can't get the chat up and working. I see someone referenced Salt to the Sea, but I can't see what the comment is.
Shelby was saying that it's on her 8th grade reading list this year.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy.
Not as heavy as Between Shades of Grey, though, which was Rita Septis's other. I think Salt to the Sea would be fine for 8th grade.
Yeah. So all told, I'm having a lot of fun. It's a good little book. It's I feel like there's not a lot of action. Like the big bad guy, we've seen literally one time. But the action is still progressing. We're moving on.
I'm worried about our troop.
Yeah.
Are they okay? Where are they at?
Don't know. I kind of expected this guy living in the gas station with the 2 redheaded kids to be somebody from our past, but I can't find a connection there.
Yeah.
He just seems to be a dude.
Well, and she remembered him from the previous city.
Right.
She's like, hey, your kids followed me around
Right.
for a while. And that helped that they were able to kind of make that connection and he could give them a little more information.
Yeah.
Do you think that the two friends that they're looking for are dead? Do you
Yeah.
think they're all going to meet up at the museum?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Shelby was saying she thought the untouched house was really creepy. I agree. I also thought it was weird. Like the people being dead in their beds, just like lying there, and like all the clothes being in the closet and everything. Like it was all real weird. I kind of like the detail about how Kirsten will like go into a bathroom and flip the light switch, like just hoping the lights will turn on, because like you never know. And then there was another comment about one time they found like a golf course that had like whiskey and some olives, and
yeah.
so August is like constantly trying to like relive that height, but like those experiences are going away, you know. Like,
yeah. That her flipping the light switch just reminded me how, you know, like, just where we live, occasionally we go weeks without power. You know, something will happen, like snowpocalypse or whatever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I will keep flicking that light switch every time I walk in a room. Like, I know there's no light. You can't help it.
Yeah.
I can't fathom not having electricity even when I don't have it.
Yeah.
It just does not compute.
There was another interesting comment. I can't remember now where it was, but somebody says like that these kids had no idea that the world was different, even though they're surrounded by evidence
Like
that clearly
reminders
Yeah.
of it.
But like, I mean, at what point do you not like a car is just a car? It's almost like a rock. It's just like a metal
Right.
rock, you know.
Stonehenge means nothing to me.
Yeah.
You know, like that meant something to somebody
Yeah.
back in the day, but it's just a pile of rocks to me.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and the pond was full whenever they went and caught all the fish. That was interesting. Yeah. It just been sitting there for 20 years. Nobody'd been fishing out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, America's awfully big, I think, when there's no planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of places that you could visit that have been untouched.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's so creepy. I don't think I would survive in this world. I'd catch the flu and die pretty quick, I think. Would you be part of the troop? You think you'd survive? You think you'd be...
I'd probably be a cult leader. No.
We've worked so hard on this.
Like, today, can I be a cult leader today? No.
Yeah.
I first off, I don't think I'd catch the flu. I never catch anything because I'm just around disease all the time, so I'm like semi-immune. I'm always sick. Let me put it that way.
Always have a look.
Your boy ain't all right. But I don't know that I'd be part of the troop. I would definitely like support that sort of endeavor, I think, or at least like if this society we had could like support artists, like I'm here for that as like a side gig, maybe. But I have very detailed thoughts about what I would do in this situation, and so I would probably like fortify, stay put.
Okay, so
expand.
If I had my druthers, I would rather be with the troop than be holding down the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather, I don't know. When there's nothing anywhere, I think I'd rather be moving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think it's time to start building a feudal society. I'm not joking. Like, I'm not joking. You need to like build a little army, start expanding, create order, excess food. That's the first step, and then you go from there.
So, chapter 1-ish, like the very beginning of the book. First of all, Javen's girlfriend is a butt.
Yeah!
He's out here trying to save a life.
What if
and
we
she's
run
like,
into her later?
My head hurts.
She's terrible.
I'm going home. Can you bring some mashed potatoes on your way? And then he realizes, like, oh, there's a plague happening.
Yeah.
And he goes to the store and he gets his 7 buggies of food.
Yeah.
Like, if that didn't hit so hard, I
Yeah.
went... I was the crazy person in Albertson before everyone started, like, buying tons and tons of groceries.
Yeah.
Like, I was pretty early in on that. I have pictures of how stupid my buggy looked. But even looking back, I'm like, that wasn't enough. If we never really were cut off from groceries and stuff, we had it good here. But had we been, that wouldn't have gotten us very far. But in my mind, that was like the most I'd ever bought at once.
Yeah.
Of like non-expiring things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But yeah, Jeevan's girlfriend is terrible for no reason, right?
She's just a jerk.
Like, why was that even in there? Like, why could he?
Well, I guess there was motivation for him to not go to her.
I guess, but like
He
she
went
could have
to his
also
brother.
not existed, and therefore he would not be motivated to go to her.
Dude.
His brother killing himself was terrible. Like, it was like good for you, I guess, for like choosing this,
That was so
but it was tough.
hard.
Yeah. That was very tomorrow
I
and tomorrow
had
and tomorrow.
blocked that out of my
Yeah.
my mind until like we just started talking about it. That was so bad.
Yeah.
And it was so peaceful. Like, because they both just understood like that had to happen.
Yeah.
But like, did it have to happen?
Yeah.
He could have wheeled him little self. Well, it was snowing.
Yeah. It's I mean, like, it's what he wanted. Like, what kind of life would he have out there? You know, like,
Maybe great.
he got kidnapped by a cult.
Well, he would be the cult leader. People carry him around on this little seated throne.
I mean, that
thingy.
sounds good.
That was so sad. Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see that girl again. Man, she was so mean.
We don't even have like a name for her. I don't
That
think. Like, she
wrong
probably
with
has a
her?
name, but like, who cares?
But like,
Yeah.
there are guys out here doing CPR on someone who's died on stage, and you just left.
Yeah. Yeah, that was terrible.
That was weird. Peggy says she would have died from a cut.
Just like drinking dirty water.
Laura was her name.
We'll watch for her.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be a hint, I think, that Javen, the interviewer, was Javen from the beginning. Like, his brother was doing, like, real news coverage in Afghanistan or whatever, and he was out here paparazziing it.
Yeah.
There were hints building that, like, those are the same people.
Yeah. It took me a minute to like piece together that it was the same guy.
It, like, towards
Yeah.
the
Like
end
the
of
very
it,
end
yeah.
of the reading. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you think she had the flu?
Might have. I really did appreciate Jeevan's friend who like kept calling him, being like, "No, dude, this is for real."
I wonder if he made it.
Nah, I
Probably
think
not.
he was coughing on like the last phone call or something.
That's right. Dang. Tough.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, that's all I got.
That's that.
That's that plus 5 chapters ahead.
It wasn't real.
Sorry.
Nah.
But I need to be careful about that in the future.
So our reading is going to be much shorter for this next week, or half as short, because we've only got the 1 week of reading instead of the 2.
You were the only one who saved chapters 1 through 41 to yesterday.
I made it to 13.
All the rest of us spread it out over 2 weeks.
I thought I was reading 50%, not 66%. I messed up. It's cool. I had a good time reading.
It is really good. It goes fast.
And not only are we reading our last reading for this book, but we will be announcing a new book today. Or this week. Whenever Nicole decides. She has thoughts.
Yes, Shelby. New book.
New book Sunday.
New book.
We're starting to head into like the holiday seasons in my mind. Fall is all holiday season here. So that'll be fun. Maybe we get some holiday books.
You want to read like a Christmas with the Cranks or something?
Is that a book?
Yeah, it's based on a book. I can't think what it's called right now. Excited for...
Interesting.
Oh, Shelby, you're such a turd. Haven't read ahead.
No, it's good. It's good. I'll post my thoughts like live. I'll live post my thoughts on Fable so you can watch my come into grips with things.
But I guess it means you liked it, Shelby. What score did you give the
Don't
book?
tell me. Don't tell. No, don't say that. Don't say that. I don't want to know anything. I'm very
Text me.
excited. Because like honestly, this could end 2 ways, right? Like either they like find the troop and everything's okay, or like everybody dies.
Or there's a big old fight and she's about to get 2 knives.
What if they all
Tattooed.
like catch the Georgia flu, 20 years late onset, and like finally gets them? I don't know. But yeah, could be the knife thing.
And why is Station 11 so important that the book is named after that?
Well, actually, so that was something I want to talk about. Like, I think that's kind of interesting because Station 11, the comic, is all about this like other world where these people go to escape these like invaders and somebody who's like ruling their world. And so like that could be the cult. It could be the disease or whatever. It could just be like here's a different world that is different and people want to go back, right? Like that's kind of like this subplot about these like undersea people or whatever wanting to go back to Earth and sort of like a longing for the past, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that is a good question. Got anything else? Cool. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Y'all go ahead and yeah, the aliens made all the Earthlings their slaves. It's true. Y'all go ahead and finish reading the rest of the book. We'll see you guys next week.
Happy reading!
Bye.